Fools like them, they suss me out and then they ghost. Girls like me, I like a magnet to a knife. Can like a lighter from the ocean. I sell them my devotion and show them my thoughts.
Sorry, I had to hold the camera with my hands, so please ignore my room. My room is a mess right now, so I'll just try to block the... Okay, this is better. So guys, welcome back. Not welcome back, sir. If this is your first time watching my video, hi, welcome. So in this channel, my name is Divine Edwards. Let me introduce myself. My name is Divine Edward, and in this channel I post sewing tutorials and I also post pattern drafting tutorials. So if you don't want to miss that, please make sure to click on the subscribe button. Also make sure to give this video a thumbs up, because that is a way that you can support this channel. So in this tutorial, we're just going to be learning how to draft, not really how to draft, but how to sew a cargo pants. I actually used one night to film this video, one night and a day, not really a day. I finished around 12 p.m. in the afternoon. The next day I started in the night, so I couldn't really film everything. For example, I couldn't film the zipper fly. I also couldn't film the waistband, so I'm just going to be doing like a separate tutorial on that, detailed separate tutorial on that. So if you don't want to miss that, make sure to turn on your post notifications so that when I post the tutorial on how to fix a zipper fly and how to fix a waistband, so that you won't miss out. And if you notice at some point, please ignore the noise. Here it's so noisy. Nigeria is very noisy. Not everywhere in Nigeria, mostly Benin City. So if you notice some part of the video, sometimes, oh god, jeez, shut up, I got distracted. Like I was saying, if you notice some part of the videos were dark while some part of the videos were light, that's because the electricity NEPA kept taking the light, so I had to film like that because my sister wanted to wear it the next day, so I just couldn't wait anymore. So that's why I filmed it like that. So please bear with me, just please. I just wanted to share with you guys how it's not really supposed to be like a tutorial. I just wanted to share with you guys how I made the trouser, the cargo pants. So please bear with me. So I think I'm done with my talk because I don't talk too much. So let's start. I'm so excited to share this process with you guys. So, and okay, sorry, this is my last this is the last chance and I'm finished. Please, if you're wondering, oh, how can I support this channel, please, if you really want to support my channel, the only thing I need from you is for you to subscribe. Please subscribe. Those of you that are always watching my videos, please make sure to subscribe. Also make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Please, you guys are always forgetting to give this video a thumbs up. Please give this video a thumbs up, and if you can, please share my videos. So thank you. So guys, at this point I had already gone ahead to draft my trouser pattern or my trouser block. Well, if you don't know how to draft a trouser block, please check the description box below. I dropped the link of where you can access that tutorial. So the only difference in this my trouser pattern is, if you notice, there is no waist dart, and the seam allowance or the ease I added to my trouser block was 0.5 inches on both sides. So you can add any amount of ease that you want to add to your trouser block, so that depends on how baggy or how fitting you want your cargo pants to be. This is it fabric that I decided to use is a chinos fabric. I don't know how it's pronounced, and I got 1.5 trouser length of this, but I realized it was not enough, so I advise that you get 2 yards, but it depends on how baggy you want the trouser to be. So this is the front block of my trouser block, and this is my waistline. From the waistline, I'm going to be marking the length of my zipper fly, and you can place the length directly on your hip depth, but the standard is 6 inches, but I made mine 7.5 inches long, so you can make yours as long as you want. So from the waistline here, I'm going to go in by 2 inches. And from this point here, I decided to go out by 1.5 inches. This is because of the curve that I wanted. So from this point here, I'm going to go up by 0.5 inches just so to give me that curve that I want, like this. So now creating the waistband, from the waistline I came down 2 inches because that is how wide I want my waistband to be. So this here is the waistband. So for the front pocket, this is my waistband, so we're going to be cutting off this waistband, so that means this is where my new waistline is. So from there I'm going to go in by 2 inches. So I went in by 2 inches, and the length of my pocket is going to be 7 inches, and that is a standard. So from this point I'm going to go in by 3.5 inches. So guys, at this point it stopped recording, so I'm just going to be explaining what I did. So I already cut off the waistband at this point, and like I said, this is my new waistline because we're going to cut off the waistband, and I came in by 3.5 inches. So from this point now I'm going to go down by 3.5 inches, then use my ruler to connect the points together, forming a box. So I cut off the waistband. So when cutting the waistband, you have to signify where the points are. So for example, this is the bottom of the waistband, this is the top of the waistband. I use an arrow to signify that, and this is my side front and my center front. So if I go back to my trouser pattern, you see that I signify where the side front is, that's where your hip is, the lower part of the waistband, the upper part, and the center front, because I'm going to be notching those places so that when I'm joining my waistbands together I won't get confused. So at this point I cut off the zipper fly. While for your front pocket, I already went ahead to trace it out on a new pattern paper. So I already made my other pocket, which I'll be explaining to you guys. So if you don't know how to trace your pocket to a new pattern paper, you just place your pattern underneath a new pattern paper and trace the pocket using a tracing wheel. So this is what a tracing wheel looks like. So you will just follow the pocket curve and trace it on a new pattern paper. So that's what I did to get this, and I already added my seam allowances of 0.5 inches. The only place I added 1 inch was the side front, because in my trouser pattern I'm going to be adding 1 inch to the side front here, so I need to do the same thing for my pocket side front. So this is the side front of my trouser pattern. Okay guys, I'm going to be needing 4 pieces of this, so now we can go ahead to the next step. So for the back pattern, I also went ahead to cut off my waistband, and I made my waistband 2 inches. I signified where the side front is, sorry, the side back, the lower part, and the center back. So I already signified that on my waistband. So for the pocket, remember I said that I had already gone ahead to draft out the pocket on the new pattern paper. So I'm just going to be explaining to you guys what I did, the width and the length of my pockets. So this is the front pocket, that's the pocket that's going to be on the hip area, and I already explained how to get this, and we're going to be needing 4 pieces of this. Now for the pocket at the knee area, so this is the front pocket at the knee area, we're going to be needing 4 pieces of this. 4 pieces, you're going to be cutting 4 pieces. Now for the width of this pocket, that's the width of the pocket, I used about 8 inches. So 8 inches is the width of this pocket, where I added 1 inch of seam allowance at the top, which I'm going to be folding in later. So I added 1 inch at the top of seam allowance. Then at the sides I added 0.5 inches all round. The only place I added 1 inch was the top of this pocket. So like I said, you need 4 pieces, 2 for the main piece and 2 for the lining. Now for the length of this pocket, the length of this pocket is 7 inches. So you can make yours as wide or as short as you want. Now for the front pocket flap, that's the one that's going to be covering our pocket at the knee area. So the width of this pocket, I made it the same width of the front pocket, which was 8 inches, so it has to be the same width. Then the length is 4 inches, so the width is 8 while the length is 4 inches, and I added 0.5 inches of allowance round. While for the back pocket, that's the pocket that's going to be at the bum area, the width of this pocket, I made it about 6 inches or 5.5 inches, 5.5 to 6 inches, while the length of this pocket, I made it 7 inches. So you can make yours as wide or as short as you want. While I added 1 inch of seam allowance at the top and 0.5 inches all around the pocket. So remember, we're going to be needing 4 pieces, 2 for the lining and 2 for the main piece. So that's just it about the pocket. Now let's go to the next step. So here I already went ahead to cut on my fabric off cam, but I'm going to be explaining the seam allowances that I added. So for the seam allowances, here I already cut it out. So here I have my front trouser block. So for the front, I added 0.5 inches at the waistline. So this is it. I added 1 inch at the side, 0.5 inches at the waistline, and 0.5 inches at the crotch. The only place I added 1 inch was the side front. So now for the pocket, we already added allowances, so there's no need for me to explain that. The pocket flap, I cut 4 pieces. I cut 4 pieces. While the waistband for the front, I added 0.5 inches all round. The only place I added 1 inch was the side front. Right, for the back pocket, we already explained that, so I cut just 4 pieces of this. While for the pocket at the knee area, I cut 4 pieces, but I made 2 pieces 2 inches longer. So you understand why I made 2 pieces 2 inches longer. So that's what I did here. I'll be explaining why I did that. So for the back waistband, I did the same thing with the front, added 0.5 inches round, and the only place I added 1 inch was the side back. While for the zipper fly, or for the back, for the back, I added 0.5 inches at the waist, the crotch. The only place I added 1 inch was the side front. While for the zipper fly, I added 0.5 inches all round. So you can add any amount of seam allowances that you want. It depends on you, but I just explained the seam allowances I added to my own pattern blocks. Okay guys, here I have my back pattern, and this is the back. So right now what we want to do now is we want to join the crotch together. So what you want to do is get the 2 pieces, make sure that the right side is facing the right sides, just like the way I'm placing it, and you're just going to sew the crotch using 0.5 inches. While for the front, you're just going to get your zipper fly now and align it like so, and wherever your zipper fly ends, you're just going to notch that area, because it is very important to do so, because when you're fixing your zipper fly, you're going to need this. So after notching the area the zipper fly ended, I can remove this and sew using 0.5 inches. So I just get my chalk now and show you guys that point. So what you're going to do here is, when you're going to use the longest stitch in your machine to sew to this point, then when you get to this point here, you can then back stitch and use your tight stitch here. The reason why I told you to use the longest stitch first is because we're going to be loosening this part that has our zipper fly. So I hope you understand. So you're just going to be using 0.5 inches to sew your crotch. So this is it for the front. Now I have used 0.5 inches to sew my crotch, and I have pressed the seams open using my iron. So for the front pocket, that's the pocket that's going to be at the hip area, I'm just unpinning this, and I have 4 pieces, like I said, 2 for the main piece and 2 for the lining. So we all know how to turn this. You're just going to place right side facing right sides, right sides of your fabric facing the right sides of your fabric. Then you're just going to sew all around using 0.5 inches. Sew here using 0.5 inches. So there is no need to sew the waistline, so don't sew the waistline, just sew the sides too, and also sew the bottom part. Please don't sew the waistline, and don't also sew the hip part, so don't sew that part. So you're just going to be doing this to the 2 pieces. So after doing that, you're just going to cut off your excess. Also make sure to notch so that when you flip this over, it's going to lay flat. So I flipped it over and this is what it looks like. So you're just going to take this to your iron now and press it flat. So now I have my front trouser. Now I'm going to place the pockets, making sure that the sides and the waist part are aligned like so, making sure that they are placed together, making sure that they are equal. If it's not equal or placed properly, it's not going to be correct. So you're just going to make sure that the hip part aligns like so you can see what I'm trying to do here. So this is the hip part of my front trouser, making sure that the hip part of the pocket also aligns with the hip part of my front trouser, so you can see how it aligns, and this is how yours should look. You're just going to take your pin now and pin it down. Then you're going to be stop stitching, making sure that you use 2 stitches. So you're just going to double stitch. So when I say double stitch, this is what I mean. So you can see I double stitched and I fixed the pockets at both sides. So now for the pocket at the knee area, I'm just going to be unpinning this, and I cut 4 pieces. Remember I said that I added extra 2 inches to 2 pieces. So now at this point you're going to see why I did so. So you can see I have 4 pieces now. 2 pieces are shorter while the other piece has 2 inches extra. So you can see that that's what I did here. So now I'm just going to be explaining to you. The shorter piece is going to be the lining, while the long pieces is going to be the main fabric. So now what you want to do is you want to fold the wrong side facing the wrong side. So right now I'm going to be sewing on top of the right side. So we're going to be sewing on top of the right side of this fabric, and we're going to be using 1 inch, and you're just going to sew as it's folded like so, making sure to do this for both 2 pieces. So after doing that, this is how it looks like, and I've already gone ahead to use my iron to press it flat. So you're just going to stop stitch on both sides, stop stitch on both sides. So that's what you're just going to do. So after stop stitching, this is how it looks like. So now we can just go ahead to the next step. So what I'm just going to do is, so like I said, I've already stopped stitch and I've also used my iron to press it flat. So what I'm just going to do now is get my pattern and make sure that the pockets, they are equal. So I'm just checking if it's equal with the original pattern, because remember I said that I added extra 2 inches to it. So now that I've folded my placket, so I'm just confirming if it's equal. So now that I see that it's equal, so I'm just going to also make sure that both sides between the plackets are equal. For example, if one side is 3 inches, the other side should be 3 inches. If not, it's just going to give you a weird looking placket. So now I bring the lining piece and place it right side facing right side with the main piece, because we want to turn this over. So it's right side facing right side, so we're just going to leave the top and sew the sides and the bottom using 0.5 inches. So you're going to sew the sides and also the bottom using 0.5 inches. So after doing so, right now I am just using my scissors to notch and trim. Then I'm going to flip it over. So I flipped it over. So at this stage, like I said, I'm just confirming if both sides are equal. So you can see what I'm doing here. I'm confirming if both sides are equal, like I explained before. If it's not equal, it's going to give you a weird shape, and I'm just making sure that they're both equal. So mine wasn't equal, so I had to go back and redo it. So that's why I said that you should make sure that it's equal. If not, it's just going to give you a very, very weird shape. So at this stage, I corrected it and I also used my iron to press it flat. So we're going to be working on the front flap. That's the one that's going to be covering our pockets at the knee area. So at this stage, I removed the pins and I have 4 pieces of this. So I'm just going to be placing right side facing the right sides like so. remember, 2 for the main piece, 2 for the lining. So I'm just going to be leaving the top area open, and I'm just going to sew the side, the bottom, and the other side using 0.5 inches, and I'm going to be doing this for both pieces. So I'm just going to leave the top part open. So for the back pocket, that's the pocket at the bottom area, I'm just removing the pins, and I have 4 pieces of this. So 2 pieces for the main piece and 2 pieces for the lining. So I'm going to place right side facing right side, and I'm going to be leaving the top open, sewing the sides and the bottom. So just the sides and the bottom. So at this stage, I've also gone ahead to fix my zipper fly because I had no time to shoot this and the video was getting too long. So I'm going to be doing a separate video showing you guys how to fix a zipper fly. So please make sure to subscribe so that you won't miss this out. So now I'm just going to be working on my pockets now. So yeah, I have my back pocket. So this is my back pocket now. So I'm just going to mark 1 inch at the back pocket. Remember that we turned this with our lining piece. So now I'm just going to turn this side. I marked 1 inch, so we're going to be folding this down like so. I'm just going to get my pin, and I'm going to use my pin to hold it down like so you can see what I'm doing here at this point. Then I'm just going to sew using 0.5 inches. I'm going to sew all around using 0.5 inches. So make sure to do this to your 2 pieces. So at this stage now, I'm just making sure that the 2 pockets are equal because the pocket has to be equal. So I'm just going to do the same thing, fold it in and sew using 0.5 inches. So now this is my back, so I want to fix the back pocket at this point. So I'm just going to show you guys what to do. So you see this is your crotch area here. This is your crotch area. You can see there on the side. You're going to find the midpoint, and that's what I did. So you find the midpoint, and from that midpoint you're going to come down by 4 inches. So after coming down by 4 inches, you're going to get your pocket now and fold it like so and get the midpoint. So I got the midpoint and I aligned it with that midpoint there. So because I want this to be equal on both sides, so that's why I did this. So after aligning it like this, I'm going to take my pins now and I'm going to hold it down. So I'm going to hold it down with my pins. Then after holding it down, I'm going to be stop stitching and I'm going to be making 2 stitches. So this is what I mean by 2 stitches, and that is what I have done. So you can see I'm just going to do this to your other side of your pocket, and I have done this at this stage, and this is what it looks like. So guys, at this point they took the light and there was no more electricity, so that's why it's a bit dark. So here is my front now. Remember I said I already fixed the zipper fly, so here is my front of the trouser. So what we're just going to do now is we're going to place the right side facing the right side. So we're going to place the right side facing the right side, and we're going to be sewing the hip area using 1 inch because that's the allowance that I added. So you're just going to use any allowance that you added. So I have flipped it over, I have sewn the hip area, and this is how it looks like. So now at this stage we're going to be fixing the pockets at the knee area. Okay, we're almost done. So we're going to be fixing the pocket at the knee area. So I'm just trimming off that excess. So you're just going to turn the sides of your trouser like this. So I'm going to show you guys how to get it equal on both sides. So when you turn it like this, you're going to get your tape, and you're just going to go down any amount of inches that you want. I decided to go for about 16 inches. So I went for 16 inches, and this is where it is. So I'm just marking it, making it visible so that you guys can see it. So I found the midpoint of my pocket just like I did for the back pocket, and I'm aligning it with the side seam. So you can see I'm aligning it with the side seam. So I found the midpoint of the pocket. So remember how we got the midpoint of our back pocket? That's what you're just going to do here. So I found the midpoint of my pocket and I'm aligning it with my side seam. So after aligning my side seam, I can go ahead to use my pins to hold it down. So this is the flap. You're just going to place the flap like this, and this is how it's going to look. So you place the flap right side facing right side of your trouser, and this is how it's going to look. So at this stage, I realized that the way I placed it didn't really give me an accurate result, so I have to flip it over like this just so I can get it. So I found out that it added extra 0.5 inches, and instead of 16 inches I had 16.5 inches, but I was still okay with where it was. So you're just going to fix it the way I explained it before, so there's no really difference. So now for the front pocket, I didn't really like the way I turned my back pocket because it actually gave me like a 4 pocket piece. So I'm just going to be flipping my front pocket like this using 1 inch. So you see how I flipped it together with the lining piece. I didn't sew it around just like I did in the back pocket. So this is just what I did. 1 inch, you're just going to fold it down like so, and you're just going to stop stitch, or you're just going to sew using 0.5 inches. So you're just going to do this to the 2 pieces of your pocket. Right here I'm just making sure it's equal, and that's what I did. So this is it after sewing it down. Remember I said that the midpoint should face the midpoint of your side seam. So you're just going to stop stitch using 2 stitches. So 2 stitches. So for the flap, you're going to place it like this, right side facing right side, aligning it like so, and you're going to sew using 0.5 inches, and it's going to look like this. So guys, I've gone ahead to fix the trouser, or fix the pocket, I'm sorry, on both sides, and this is how my trouser looks. And I also went ahead to fix the waistband, so I'm just going to be doing a separate tutorial on this because this video was getting a little bit long. So I'm going to do I'm going to do a detailed tutorial on waistband and also on zipper fly. So thank you so much for watching this tutorial, as this is the end of the tutorial. So I hope to see you soon, and don't forget to hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe. So this is how the back pocket looks like after I fix it on both sides. So thanks for watching. Bye.